This lecture is on Chapter 10-2. We'll start off with 4 types of fires. The first type of fire is called a surface fire, and just like the name suggests, it only burns the surface leaf litter in the O horizon and the understory. So it doesn't really get too out of control, it doesn't burn very hot. Our second one is called a crown fire, and crown fires burn really hot. They jump from treetop to treetop, and they spread very quickly and have a high temperature. Our third type is a ground fire, and a ground fire is sometimes hard to detect, and here's a picture of one. You might see some smoke coming out of the ground, but not too many big flames. And finally, the last one is a prescribed fire. These are fires set on purpose to help control another fire, or if you need to, if an area hasn't burned in a while, it's a way to kind of clear all of the brush out so that a bigger fire won't occur there. The Healthy Forest Restoration Act was a law that was passed, and it allows timber companies to log in 71% of the national forests. In return, they have to remove some of the flammable material like the brush and the understory to help prevent a really hot fire from burning through that area. Our next topic is deforestation, and in this picture we see a tropical rainforest before and after photo from a satellite. The first picture was taken in 1975, and the after picture was taken in 2001. So within about 25 years, you can see the difference. All of these trees here have been removed. And tomorrow we'll discuss this in class, but do you guys have any idea what these lines are? Kind of crisscross through the forest here. We'll discuss it tomorrow. Satellite pictures are a great way to kind of calculate the rate of deforestation. Sometimes a country will lie about how much they are cutting down and at what rate, but with satellite pictures you can easily see how much is being removed every year. In slash and burn farming, basically what a farmer would do, need land for growing crops or growing cows, so they go to an area of the rainforest, they cut down the trees, set it on fire, and just like a fire returns nutrients to the soil in the prairie or the chaparral, the same thing happens. The rainforest doesn't have very good soil, even though so much it's so productive and plants are growing like crazy. Most of the nutrients are locked up in the living organisms. So when you burn the plant matter, it's an easy, cheap way to get those nutrients into the soil, but it's very temporary. So after that, you'll have to, since you are probably not using synthetic fertilizers in the forest because you can't afford it, you'll probably just go to another part of the forest, cut down the trees, set fire to that again, and the land will be fertile for a while, and then you move on to another area. So it's really not very good way to protect biodiversity in the rainforest when you're cutting down trees and losing so much habitat with the slash and burn. As I mentioned on the last slide, not only are you going to be losing biodiversity by losing the rainforest like this through slash and burn and logging, but you're also losing our sources for cancer-fighting chemicals and medicines that may or may not have been discovered yet from the rainforest plants and animals. That's one reason why we should care about losing our rainforests. An example of a tree in the rainforest that has many uses is called the neem tree, and it grows in tropical regions like in India. And some of the uses for it, it's as a form of contraceptive, it's a spermicide for birth control. You can use the wood for lumber, you can burn it for fuel. The neem tree, the leaves are edible, and the chemicals from the tree can be used as a natural pesticide to keep insects away. The bark can be used to make rope. The oils from the tree can be used as part of soaps or cosmetics. So this one tree has many important uses to it. One way to protect some of the beautiful places in our world is through ecotourism. And in ecotourism, basically you're making more money off of protecting the forest or the land than exploiting it by logging or slash and burn for agriculture. As long as you can make it profitable to do conservation, you're more likely to be successful in protecting the biodiversity and wildlife there. So you can go zip lining in a rainforest, you can go kayaking on a river. All of them have very low impact on the forest and will help to preserve this for future generations. To summarize what we can do, we need to make conservation profitable. Remember, poverty is one of the key underlying causes of a lot of our environmental problems. So if we pay people to take care of their trees, take care of their land, then they make money, they can survive, they will not be in poverty, and it helps to protect the biodiversity and the rainforest. We need to help initiate restoration. In other words, help to return things to the way they were before. And finally, it's always better to prevent. Prevention is always better than cleanup. Prevent the damage to begin with.